Hey everyone, it's Jax again from the Popcorn Review Podcast. We're going to be talking about AEW. This is going to be my 23rd episode. It's going to be AEW again for 5/7. Just want to start off by saying this episode or this show for AEW Dynamite was intense. And I mean intense in a good way. It just was total nonstop action throughout the entire episode there or show. I feel like we just kept getting more and more and more and more. Um, but let's get into it. It started off with Hangman Adam Page, um, pretty much coming to the ring, talking about that this is kind of his redemption story. He's still upset with Swerve, but he's going to try to move on. He said he'll never forget Swerve, but he does have to move on to try to become the champion. So it looks like as of now, that storyline with Swerve and Hangman is at least for now done. I was actually thinking that it might be Swerve and Hangman at All In Texas because he is a cowboy, but it looks like it's not going to go that route. It might end up being Hangman there, but might be against Moxley if anything. Um, you did have Will Ospreay later come on and just have a crazy promo talking about how good of a wrestler he is, that nobody can pretty much take his place. And he's I'm the one signing the autographs. I'm the one doing the meet and greets. I'm the one doing all the crazy moves. Pretty much saying that as of right now, people are watching AEW because of him, and he's not lying. This match is going to be amazing. I cannot wait to see what happens. To be honest with you, they've even said it. Will said that he's never been in the ring with Hangman, and I cannot wait to see these two guys. Different styles for the most part. Even though Hangman can do the flips and everything like that, he's more of a ground and pound kind of guy. So Will Ospreay is definitely going to have to go after him. I'm excited for this match, guys. Really excited for this match. I know it's in the pay-per-view match, but the build to them too, can't wait to see it. I'm excited. Again, I'm excited for that match. I will say, the Don Callis family kind of interrupts there. And then again, fuck Don Callis chance ring out. Don Callis pretty much between that segment there, they pretty much said they're gonna have 2-on-2. So it's gonna be Ospreay and Hangman versus two of the Don Callis family, and they're gonna announce that later on. I think it was Sean Alexander, and Takeshita, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Could be Fletcher there because of the rivalry with Will Ospreay there. But great segment, honestly. Don Callis got a lot of heat. His boys in his group got a lot of heat, so that's going to continue to keep going forward and forward. Uh, you did have a segment there, a small segment with FTR kind of approach, Tony Schiavone, and you had Stokely Hathaway kind of just like talking down to him pretty much, and finally Tony had said pretty much said is enough, grabbed the mic, and there's definitely going to be something going on there. Not sure who's going to step in and try to help Tony Schiavone, but someone's definitely going to put their words to it and get up in there. You had again a lot of matches, a lot was going on in this episode. You had Tony Storm versus Thunder Rosa versus Anna Jay, happy to see her back, and Penelope Ford. This match was really good. Yes, it was an eliminator match to see who can face Tony Storm. But to be honest with you guys, this match was really good. Showed all the girls' potential. And yes, because it was a fatal four-way, there was no disqualification. So you did see Megan Bain, come to the ring, pretty much attack everybody except for Penelope Ford. Then you did see Carly come out and kind of chase her. I think she chased her with a pipe or something, wearing her Detroit T-shirt. So definitely showed the city that she was behind them. Kind of chased her off from there. Tony Storm does end up getting the win there. But honestly, it was just some of the crazy issues, some of the crazy spots they had in that match before that whole Megan Bain. Um, Tony Storm had someone in a submission, and Penelope Ford, for whatever reason, comes up and like kicks her in the crotch, and she rolls off, and she's hurting in pain. And the commentary was like, "Can she even get hurt there?" So pretty funny. Later on, though, it was reversed. Penelope Ford had someone in a submission, and Tony Storm came and kicked her in her crotch. Kind of the same scenario, so she kind of got her get back on her. So again, I love to see Tony Storm. I think she's one of the best women wrestlers right now in AEW. Her character is great. Um, like I mentioned, her hip attack is insane. And her and Thunder Rosa actually had a little tag teaming duo during that match as well. They had like they brought back their Thunder Tits gimmick that they had a couple weeks ago. They even had like a handshake at the end when Tony Storm won. They kind of shook hands and chest bumped each other. So I thought that was pretty funny. But in all, great match from the four girls there. Anna Jay, I'm happy to see her back. Hopefully, to do something with her. She's been gone for a few months. Um, she might wrestle on Collision, but like I mentioned before, guys, I don't watch Collision. I don't feel like that's a good enough show for me, so I just don't watch it. But all in all, great showing by all four girls. And then Megan Bain, they're showing her as a powerhouse, taking out three people in that match. So can't wait to see it. We'll see what keeps going. We're gonna have either Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Monet versus, um, excuse me, versus Mercedes Monet versus Jamie Hayter, and whoever wins out of that will end up wrestling Tony Storm. So can't wait to see that. Either way is going to be a good match. I hope to see both of them in the future, but we'll see how it plays out. You did have the Hurt Syndicate as well. Um, came to the ring. MVP calls out, pretty much calls out the tag team division. Um, who's left for them to beat kind of deal. Top Flight kind of answered that question, came out and said, I don't know about the crew, but Top Flight will take a stab at it pretty much. And they both did their little spiel. And then before they got into the ring, out of nowhere, MJF comes, takes them both out wearing just a wife beater. And I think he just has like his slacks on, but he comes out, beats those two guys up, busts open one of them, and pretty much showing MVP that he's capable of hurting people, that he's capable of taking it to the next step. MJF says, I hurt people, pretty much yelling to Bobby, I hurt people too. And then the crowd just screams, for MJF. They're cheering for him. So looks like Bobby's going to have to just, shut up and just allow him into the group. He did say, go hurt somebody. That's exactly what he did. Um, and again, this here was just crazy matches nonstop, to be honest with you guys. I just can't believe how much was packed into this 2-hour episode. Um, you did have, the Young Bucks there. It was the Young Bucks and had a segment. And out of nowhere, Ricochet's talking to him, gave the little aha type deal. And then they kind of go into their, I guess, locker room or office area. And you saw the Death Riders kind of like hanging out, waiting for him, which was kind of crazy because initially Moxley didn't want nothing to do with the Young Bucks. And now they're kind of waiting for him. So there's definitely going to be some type of alliance. Ricochet's actually doing really well with the Young Bucks. Don't know how he fits in with the Death Riders, but as of right now, Ricochet is riding with the Young Bucks. You did have Nick Wayne as well. Nick Wayne had a segment again with Christian Cage and them in the back, and they keep kind of shitting on Nick Wayne. His music hits, he comes out kind of celebrated, kind of doing his stances, and then Christian Cage music hits while these being announced. Nick Wayne's being announced. Christian Cage music is singing in the background, so kind of like overshadowing his son. Um, and Christian Cage pretty much told him, "Hey, you're gonna wrestle someone from my past." I thought it might have been Edge. Maybe him and Edge got over their whole thing, but it ended up being Rhino. All you heard was gore, 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 and then boom, Rhino comes out. Yeah, he's a little bit older, than what we're used to seeing. The Rhino was doing good. The crowd was feeling Rhino. Again, another outing, a great outing by Nick Wayne. Yes, they're trying to show him and build him to be that next guy. Good outing. Rhino did his thing. You did have Christian Cage kind of get into it with Rhino a little bit, trying to like pull his leg so he wouldn't do the gore or the spear. Um, I will say though, there's still some tension between Nick Wayne and Christian Cage. At some point, these two guys are going to wrestle. Don't know on what pay-per-view because it should be on a pay-per-view. Don't know what pay-per-view, but this time around, like last week, he put the belt around Nick's waist. Nick Wayne's waist after he won. This time he grabs it again, acts as if he's going to put it on him, takes it off, and then throws it on the floor last and walks out. So it's like he's definitely showing that he's not behind Nick Wayne. He did say that he's putting all these matches together so Nick Wayne could go into the I think junior tournament in Japan. So he's trying to set him up for success, but he's also trying to almost like as if he's trying to beat him down to win the title from him. At least that's what I'm thinking. Again, somewhere down the line, those two guys are going to go at it. Again, Nick Wayne did really well. Nice to see Rhino. Haven't seen Rhino in years. Not sure if he's going to be there long term or if it's just a one off or they're just going to continue to use different people from Christian Cage past. but we'll see who else comes up, honestly. But again, nice outing from Nick Wayne. Nice to see Rhino in the ring again. Um, you did have a couple segments there. Um, Willow was talking with Renee, and you had saying that she wants to get back at Marina Shafir. And then out of nowhere, Chris Statlander shows up, and she goes, "I ain't got nothing to talk to you about. There's nothing I got to say to you." And Chris is like, "I understand you still don't like me." She's like, "No, I got nothing to say to you. What you did to me was wrong, and that's it." She goes, "But if you want to get in the ring, we can do that tomorrow, or on Collision whenever they're going to wrestle." So they're going to get into it. That's probably where they're going to squash the beef and just hug it out at the end. But they're going to get into it. Those two girls could both go. It's going to be a good match. Chris Statlander, I like her. Willow, the crowd's behind her. I like her too. She's been growing on me. Not sure what AEW has planned for her, but it'd be nice to see her actually get in there and do some different things. Um, I did have that one match. You had Mark Briscoe, you had Speedball and Swerve this time around with the Young Bucks and Ricochet. This match was insane. You had flips, you had back flips, you had front flips, you had side flips, you had body slams, you had power bombs. Everything was in this match. You definitely had these high flyers going everywhere. I know a lot of people are gonna say it was like a spot fest. That's exactly what it was. But I was all over the place. Oh man, did you see that shit? Oh shit, that was cool. Oh my god, did you see that? That's literally how I was watching that match. I know a lot of people hate that. To me, honestly, that was a great match. Just flips all over the place. Um, Definitely what the Young Bucks like to do, what Ricochet likes to do, what Swerve likes to do. Speedball, played a part. Mark Briscoe played a part. Incredible match. Incredible match. I expected Swerve and them to win. Swerve is still going buck hunting season, so that's cool that he's still trying to go after those guys. But I expected the good guys to win. After all that said and done, though, the Bucks win with a simple roll-up pin Swerve. They all run out of the ring and they're all celebrating like they won. Did not expect them to win, honestly. They won last week, so I just thought they were going to go on a losing, at least take a L this week. Wasn't the case as of right now. The Bucks have been undefeated in every match they've been back in. So I know they're booking themselves that way, but the Bucks are definitely taking advantage. Again, total nonstop action during that match. It was insane. Love to see. I know last week I said the Bucks were kind of boring for me, but this match with everybody, what everybody was doing, chef's kiss. I give that match a 10. Great match. If you haven't watched it, watch it on Max or watch it on your DVR, whatever you guys watch it on, but definitely watch that Max, that trios match. Great match, great match. And Ricochet does really well with the Bucks. Don't know if he's going to stay there long term, but again, great match. Two more matches. Again, this episode was just insane, but two more matches for the night. You did have Okada versus Kevin Knight. I've been really high on Kevin Knight. I think that this kid's going to be amazing in the future. He is definitely at least a TNT champion, if not, a world champion at some point. If AEW puts their cards in there, pushes this kid, like how they say, put the rocket on his back. I think Kevin Knight could do some amazing things. Um, Kevin Knight did have to wrestle Okada, another eliminator tournament to try to get a title run or a title shot, I should say. But they did have a segment with Roosh before this match, pretty much saying that Roosh is coming after Kevin Knight from what happened on Collision. He cost Roosh $100,000 match. You know how they do those little matches with prize money at the end. So apparently he calls Roosh $100,000 right when, I thought it was odd too that Okada came out first and then Kevin Knight came out after. Usually the champion comes out second, but in this case, Okada comes out first. And before Kevin Knight even gets down the mini ramp that they had, because it was a smaller venue, just takes out, Roosh takes out Kevin Knight, beats him down. Mike Bailey comes out. Roosh kind of goes on his way, but the job's already done. Okada don't give a shit. Okada's like, get in the ring. Kevin Knight said, yeah, let's go. Kevin Knight still, even though he's hurt before the match, incredible match. Okada, everybody said that he was great in New Japan. From what he's seeing, what I'm seeing from him in AEW, he seems very like slow motion. Um, I just don't see it there. I feel like he's in slow motion every time. Even when he does like his lariat, is very like slow motion. Like I feel like it's not entertaining for me. That's how I feel. I think like I mentioned before, the only wrestler from Japan that I've seen that's been good in the men's division has been Takeshita. He's been that dude throws on bangers, especially with Will Ospreay. Those two guys have great chemistry. But Okada not showing me nothing, man. Like they put the strap around you, they're pushing you, but you're not giving me what everybody says you could do. So that's just my spiel. But again, Okada pretty much takes it to the kid. Um, I feel like they kind of had to do that because Kevin Knight has been doing so well the last few weeks that you can't give him a title shot that fast. So they kind of had to throw that story there with Roosh to make Kevin Knight lose, if that makes sense to anybody, because you don't want to have a newcomer come out and outshine the champion or one of their champions. So that's why they did that. Great outing by Kevin Knight. Okada still not feeling it from you, but you won. You're the champion. You took advantage of somebody who was hurt, but it is what it is. Again, total nonstop action this entire day. You also had a segment with Jamie Hayter, pretty much talking about Mercedes Moné, and then out of nowhere, she kind of attacks. Mercedes kind of attacks during the interview, and they kind of run out and they're fighting out in like the little balcony area because again, it's a smaller venue, so they're fighting at the balcony area. They got separated. Jamie Hayter's like, "Yeah, run, run like you always do," and as she turned her back, boom, Mercedes takes her out, stands next to the cup. They're building to that match. I cannot wait to see that match. Whoever wins is gonna give Tony Storm a great match. Either way, I'm happy with both guys. Like I'm happy with both. Whoever wins that match, yes, like I mentioned before, Mercedes Moné does do things differently. Um, and Jamie Hayter's just strength. So it's two different people, but it's still going to be a great match with Tony Storm. Can't wait to see it. Um, Main event, you did have Claudio versus Joe. Claudio's just trying to weaken Joe, if anything, before their match at Beach Break. So it makes sense to try to weaken your opponent by having one of your guys go after him. Um, Hard hitting moves from both of them. Claudio and Joe can go. Yeah, Joe's getting a little bit older, but they can still go, guys. The guys have good chemistry together. Joe did end up pulling that one off. Short term, Joe ended up pulling that one off, winning. You did have at one point you saw the Death Riders kind of like coming in through the corner, and you saw Hobbs come in with a chair and kind of like scare them off from actually coming into the ring. So yeah, I think you had Rena Shafir and you just had Moxley. I didn't see Yuta. I don't know if Yuta's injured now as well. I know Pac is, but you didn't see Yuta. And they were about to attack, and then Hobbs came in with the ladder or the chair rather, and Joe picks him up and kind of like almost like body slams him or front slams him, and he kind of lands on the chair. Took him out there, so pretty crazy. He wasn't able to get done what he wanted to get done. You do have there what happened with pretty much Joe is taking out all of the Death Riders, so it's going to be just Marina Shafir left. And pretty much, I think how Joe is, he's gonna slap the shit out of her if she gets in the way. So we'll see how that goes. Powerhouse Hobbs again comes in and saves the day. They look strong at the end of the day. Can't wait for Beach Break. Don't think Joe's gonna do it, but it's still gonna be a great match, guys. Again, guys, this is my episode 23. Have a great one. Thanks for watching.